Why bother with a portfolio? Why bother updating it? Is it more than just stroking your own ego? We're going to come back to that later on. By the time you watch this, it will all be over. So this video is not going to be so much of an end of year review. It's more a bit of self-reflection and direction setting for the coming year. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope Santa was good to you. He was certainly good for me. I've been just looking through this Ansel Adams book of 400 photographs. It's really good. But it started me thinking about some other things. It started me thinking about how we critique and look at other people's photographs and how maybe we should be doing the same with our own. So we look at it and often we're sort of critical of other people's work, maybe not openly, but quietly and inside we often look at other people's work and decide what we like and what we don't like. And often we form these ideas and these perceptions subconsciously. We don't even know that we're doing it. Now I judge for a number of camera clubs, so I'm pretty in tune with forming opinions quite quickly, which is probably quite often can be a bad thing. But I try and keep a very open mind. I ensure that each critique is focused on the photographer learning something from it. They don't have to agree, and they can go their own way. And so it should be with our own work as well. We should take photographs first and foremost for ourselves and what we like. But how often do you open up Lightroom and pick out only the photographs you really like? I can scan through some of my images here now and start picking them out and looking at them. When I started my Dartmoor 20 portfolio, so it's really my Dartmoor 20 project, should I say, one of the aims of it was to actually create a portfolio of 20 photographs and update it and keep it online on the screen. And I do that, and I've been doing that for 10 years. But this project was due to come to an end in 2020. And the more that I look at it, it's more interesting to look back and see it's not only a story of Dartmoor, of the landscape, it's also a story of how my photography has changed, evolved, improved over that time as well. And that's one of the beauties of going back and looking over our work and being critical of what we're producing ourselves. So more of that in a minute. First of all, I want to share with you a few highlights of my year in photography. Eventually, we were able to venture out with our cameras locally, just in time to see some spring colours. ISO 100, f11, hundredth of a second. I tell you, I just can't. I've just got to keep shooting. The spectacle continued into autumn. Frustrated though by typically wet and uninspiring weather, the woodland finally gave up her secrets and revealed this single tree in full autumn colour. So let's get back to the question that I started this video with. Why bother updating a portfolio? Why bother having a portfolio and considering those things? I've made some notes because this may get a little bit deep and I don't want to miss these points, but I'm sure they will make sense to you. So as I've said before throughout the year in some of my other videos, photography is art, it's communication, it's a connection between you, the subject, and the viewer. And as a form of communication, every photograph tells a story. We've all heard the saying, a picture takes 1,000 words. And it is true. And as a piece of art, it's something you have created and worked hard on. A landscape you have wanted to show others, a place that you think highly of. So it's not just a story in isolation, it's part of your story. It's part of my story. It started when you were born, and will keep going until you no longer exist. I did warn you this could get a little bit deep. But your photographs, that story will be there to be enjoyed long after you have gone. So that's number one. Keeping a portfolio, updating it, and keeping it live is your evolving story. In photography, it's what you want to show the world, what you want to tell people. and it'll keep going on and on and on after you're gone. So it's kind of a legacy. So why change your portfolio? Why not just add to it every single year? Well, you could add every year, every image to it, and it would be huge, it would be massive. But it wouldn't really be practical. And let's face it, online to the public, to potential clients, to our friends and to our families, we want to show our best work. We want to show our latest work and what we're doing now. We want to be in that moment. So that's what you should do. You should show people the work that you consider to be your best. And it's important, let me say that again, images and work that you consider to be your best. Not what other people consider to be best. It's not their story, it's yours. It also needs to show your range of work. It needs to show the different styles and the mediums and the subjects that you shoot. So I keep a couple of live collections online. I keep them in Lightroom, and as I produce new work during the year, I drop the finished images into them. And then towards the end of the year, I pick the new images that I would like to include. And I add them to that portfolio. And it's my ongoing, changing, forever portfolio of my work that I want to show, what I want to look at. And then eventually every year I whittle them back down to 20. There's a maximum of 20 images in each of my portfolios. Some new images don't make it. It doesn't mean that the work you're doing now is the best work you've ever done. The work you're doing now may be part of your evolution as a photographer. It may lead to better work. But what you did last year may be better than this year. But that's not a fail. It's just part of the story. But what it does is it does show how my photography has evolved over time. So if you want to see my portfolios, my new ones are live, and you can view them on my website at www.briannorthmorephotography.com. And don't forget, if you subscribe to my newsletter, quick plug here, I'll give you a free copy of my ebook as well. So that was last year, but now what? I would say more of the same, but nobody wants to actually have more of 2020, do they? There are some good things that come out of it, some things that I want to keep going. But as for my Dartmoor 2020 project, I think that's going to evolve. I'm not going to stop it. It was planned to end in 2020, but I'm going to evolve it slightly differently. And this map that was also a gift at Christmas is going to form some of the ideas for how I actually do that. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. And when we talk about things that I want to keep going, I would like to lecture again in front of more live audiences at camera clubs. But in many ways, I don't want to stop the Zoom. I've been able to speak to photographers and audiences not within an hour and a half of home. I've been talking to audiences that would normally take me 8, 10, 12 hours to drive to get there, and the same to come back, things which are just not possible. So that new technology and embracing those new ways of working, it will enable me to reach a far greater audience and talk to more people and fulfill what my aim is, which is to share my knowledge, my passion and my skills with the photographic community. I experimented last year with an ebook, and as I think I said earlier, subscribers to my newsletter get a free copy. Is there a new book to follow? Maybe. My YouTube channel has grown beyond all expectations. I didn't expect to be sat here today talking to you with 670 subscribers. I didn't think I'd be sat here thinking that I'm only 2 or 3 months away from hitting that golden number of 1,000 subscribers. But I am, and long may that continue, because it does fulfill my objective. It fulfills the objective of passing on knowledge, passion and skills. And your feedback as a community has been absolutely phenomenal. And that feedback, when you ask questions and I can give real in-depth answers, that drives me to do more of it. So I'm going to leave you with a viewing of the new images going into my 2021 portfolio. But whilst you're watching this, I would like you to open up your keyboards and put in some ideas of what you're going to do in 2021. How's your story going to evolve? How's your photography going to develop? What new things are you going to try doing? Putting these comments below helps my channel. It'll also give me some ideas of some things I can put into my content in 2021 that might help you as well. So enjoy looking at these pictures. Once again, I wish you a very, very happy new year. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And also, if you want to see more of my work, please subscribe to my channel.